What's up, folks? How you doing? Welcome back, Football Digest, episode number 30. Oh, 3 0. Kama my name is Nyaassh, and I just want to digest and dissect what was happening over the weekend in terms of football. And for starters, I want to thank everybody who was watching KUTV on Saturday, the show called On The Sport. If you tuned in, thank you so much. I very much appreciate you taking your time. Now, we had, of course, on Saturday, the early kickoff between West Ham and Arsenal. It was definitely going to be a derby. And honestly speaking, before this game, mimi nilikuwa najua like si lazima tutawapiga. I almost put a bet pitting Arsenal to beat West Ham, because I don't know, for some weird reason I was like, Mustafi is back, Ozil is back, Bellerin is back, as in we got quite a number of guys who are back in full training, so we have no reason whatsoever not to beat West Ham. Now I know West Ham, they have been doing quite good while they were playing at home, but still, I don't know, we are the Arsenal. We always have a thing over West Ham anywhere we're playing, be it at home, be it at our own, be it at their own home ground. It's a place where we never really struggle. But on Saturday, it was anything but that. We seriously struggled. Like, there was no rhythm in our gameplay. There was no purpose. Everything was poor. So many stray passes. No creativity. The only thing that stood out in that game is that we were defensively kind of more solid than we have been the previous number of games. And the attack was just pathetic, for lack of a better word. Lacazette was nowhere to be seen, neither was Aubameyang. The only guy who was somewhere close to being seen is Iwobi, but still, he could not produce on his own. We had guys like Xhaka who were doing nothing. We had Gembuzi, as in Nimechoka, and there was no creativity, which asks or raises questions like, why the hell was Torreira starting on the bench? He's not only defensively good, but he is creatively good. Why the hell was Ozil not starting for the 18th time? Ozil was not starting. And this time, he's back in full training. Why the hell was he not starting? And we could see like the only thing that was missing in that game is creativity. Because if you had it, then maybe it would have been a different ball game. And it was that until Ramsey came in. And you wonder like, why the hell does Ramsey and Ozil never start again? Yet, they are the two most creative guys at Arsenal. I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, look, I understand. Like, we've got to give Unai Emery his time. He's got to take his time and make a few tweaks and changes. But when you start making changes like those if you're making changes for guys who we clearly don't have, that's something else. Like wingers, we don't have wingers. I mean, it's clear, everybody knows. So whoever is playing on the wings definitely is a makeshift, right? But when we have no creativity, but you have the likes of Ozil and you have the likes of Ramsey and the likes of Torreira, then it doesn't make any sense at all. Then why do we have those guys and they're not coming into play? So like those are the reasons why people will start going on a manager's throat and they just be on his case like crazy, because we can't be lacking creativity while we'll have creative guys who are on the bench. That cannot be, because it's not happening once, it's not happening twice, it has happened quite a number of times now. So I think that's something that Unai Emery honestly need to sort it out. Because if you start getting to these levels, now of course, fans will start saying, and they are right to say so, Kroenke does not pump any money into the club. When they start boycotting that, then maybe the club will start performing poorly. When the club starts performing poorly, then what happens next? The coach leaves. That is exactly what happens. And even when Unai Emery was coming into the club, he knew he was not going to get like 100% funding when he wants players, especially in January transfer. He must have known that. It would be daft of him, or I don't know, like stupid of him to think like he would get the funding that he wanted at Arsenal anytime he wants it. That was not going to happen. The other thing which I find it a bit ironical is when Unai Emery was coming in, he used to say that he's going to build the club around Aaron Ramsey. Like, he was quite vocal on that. He said that quite a couple of times, and it was recorded and reported in media, and everybody knew about it. Then here we are, Aaron Ramsey is apparently having secret medicals to go to Juventus come summer. And you're like, umse, kwani hakutetea Ramsey aongezee contract or what? Because I feel like even if you're the manager, of course you don't have the final say on if the club is going to, give the player a final contract or an extension or blah blah blah. But you can at least persuade the club based on what you know this guy can offer to the club and offer to you as a coach. But he hasn't. Okay, I don't know if he has done all that, but it doesn't seem like he is. Because if he did, one thing that he could be doing for sure is playing around Ramsey, because he was going to build the club around him. You can't say just because he's leaving, I can't build the season around him. That is, it does not make any sense. It's just like saying because Ramsey knows he's going, then he can't put in a performance or he can't perform well. That there is no correlation whatsoever. So those are some questions that Unai Emery needs to sort out quickly and very soon, because the next game we're playing Chelsea, and we had the chance of we're now 6 points behind Chelsea, and had we not lost yesterday, we would be 3 points behind them, and would have beaten them now on Saturday, and would be at par. And if he had won or we had won, we would also not be at par with Manchester United. Speaking of Manchester United, they beat Tottenham yesterday 1-0, and I was watching that game, and man, I don't know what to say. Like they were good. They did not seem intimidated. They did not seem to feel like they are playing against a superior side, because Tottenham have been great. They have been magnificent all along. So yeah, that honestly gives some props to Manchester United. I gotta give them that. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is starting Solskjaer, like we were taught on KUTV. Solskjaer is now like getting his stuff right, but the real test I feel is yet to come. I think for me he'll be judged vizuri once the season ends. It's a tad premature now to start saying like, you know what, he can be now the final manager and the permanent guy just because he has won 6 games in a row. Even Arsenal, we had not lost 22 games in a row, but you're performing as poor as a team can get. So it's a tad too early. Of course, Arsenal is not Manchester United, and neither is Manchester United Arsenal. So every team has its trajectory and their own stuff. But I think it will be a tad too early to start saying, Solskjaer can now become the permanent manager for Manchester United. And honestly speaking, like if he's able to pull off like a Klopp thing, like a Pep thing, like Pep came in, he had played a fantastic manager, and he came in with his ideas and his style of playing, and bang, he changed the whole gameplay of how Barcelona used to play. He went to Bayern, he did the same kind of thing. He came to Man City, he's doing the same kind of shit. If Solskjaer can implement what he learned under Sir Alex Ferguson, one of the best coaches to ever exist in English Premier League, then, man, who knows? He might just put in another Pep performance, and he's confirmed as the permanent manager of Manchester United. But only time will tell on that. I don't want to talk much about that. Of course, today we have another big game: Manchester City versus Wolves. This is huge because Wolves have been playing brilliantly. It's also huge because I have quite a number of guys have players from these two teams in their fantasy Premier League teams. So we've got to keep an eye on that one. And of course, we want to see if Manchester City can put a gap between them and Tottenham. Now that Tottenham failed to beat Manchester United yesterday, so it's gonna be a very interesting game. I think it's gonna be high octane kind of game. The two teams play brilliantly. The last time they did play at Molineux Stadium, Wolves held City to a 1-1 draw. So this one is going to be interesting, no doubt about it. All right. During the weekend, we also had Chelsea playing versus Newcastle. They won 2-1. Willian with a fantastic goal. Of course, guys like Chelsea, Fabregas, they moved to Monaco now. That's where they're playing the trade. We also had interesting games between Liverpool and Brighton, playing at is it American Stadium? Another game that was important to watch out because Brighton can be quite defensive. Liverpool are explosive. So when the two meet, what is going to happen? It was a 1-0 score, penalty by Mo Salah. Tight margins there, We also had Burnley versus Fulham, and I was telling Flo this. Burnley versus Fulham is a huge game because the two teams wako huko chini wote, wamekazana, wamewezwa kupanda. We also have Cardiff versus Huddersfield, another game between two bottom teams. So it was always going to be a high octane affair, but like the Burnley game, Burnley came out on top. The Cardiff versus Huddersfield, I can't recall the scoreline for that one. But, Burnley seriously needed that win. These games between these two teams don't get any bigger, because I beat you, then I get a chance of being on top of you. If I get a chance of being on top of you, then my chances of being relegated, they are reduced. So, yeah, it's a cutthroat kind of game. Of course, we had the Kenya Premier League also going on. We had games like Tusker versus Mathare, a huge game because the two teams have been performing brilliantly. And Mathare wali piga Tusker. Oh my God, I can't remember the scoreline for this one, but I think it was a 2-1 win for Mathare. I think they beat Tusker. I'm not sure. Posta Rangers, they lost to Chemil Sugar. Western Steam, of course, also suffered their first defeat of the season. They have not been defeated in 6 games. Of course, Gor Mahia was not in action, however, because they were playing the CAF Confederations Cup match against New Stars of Cameroon, of which they did beat 2-1. So it's a fantastic advantage they are taking back to Cameroon, or they'll be taking to Cameroon when they go to play there. So in a nutshell, that was what is happening in the world of football that is worth the salt. Something else that is worth the salt just a little bit, but in a big way, it's paradox, is Lionel Messi. He scored his 400th La Liga goal when Barcelona beat Eibar 3-0. Of course, Suarez scored a brace, and Messi scored his own goal, and it was his 400th La Liga goal. So it was a huge night for him without a shadow of a doubt. Real Madrid, of course, they also won. Not of course, they won. It's not of course nowadays. Atletico Madrid also, they won. Anything worth talking about in Syria? Nothing much. Bundesliga, nothing much. And Ligue 1, there's nothing much to talk about. So basically, that is all there is to talk about, right? So I'll be back here on, let me see, today's Monday. I'll be back here on Wednesday just to check out what's happening in the transfer market, because it's going down huge. We are mid-month right now, so some deals gotta start being sealed, so it's a matter of time before some of these things are just announced out there. So I'll be back here on Wednesday to check out what has been happening from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in the last couple of weeks, and check out what is worth talking about in terms of transfer market update. All right, that's all I have for you now. Like always, you can check this out on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is Football Digest KE. That is how I'll be posting it, and you can always like and subscribe. All right, of course, you can always check us out our Facebook group. Also, we have a Facebook group. It's called Football Digest, and you can also check out my page. It's called Nyaassh. All right, NYAASH. That's all I have for you now. Have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic week. God bless. Take care.